What a day, what a day, what a day. There's another one of them days where it's just some more BS. I recorded this video earlier today, went through the editing process, and it got deleted. So, I'm here to bring it to you again, I guess. Okay, so this is the Mugino video. It's Mugino and the Hashirama Cell Retrieval Arc video. Pretty much just discussing where we're at so far in the anime in the Hashirama Cell Retrieval side of things, and the character Mugino. He's a Jonin that was introduced to us in this arc, but also he was introduced to us early in the Boruto manga, really around the time, specifically around the time where we meet Kawaki. Actually, so that's where we're introduced to him in the manga. But in the anime, we're introduced to him at the beginning of this arc. He apparently is one of Konohamaru's friends, or comrades, where he's been on plenty of missions with Konohamaru and vice versa. They've been on plenty of missions, and Konohamaru really trusts them. They're both Jonin. Mugino, he was apparently on a long, drawn-out mission that involved a lot of, I guess, espionage and a lot of people showing betrayal, as what happens in every mission, I guess. So Mugino, he's very stern. He's very strict. He don't play any games. Like, he's like the opposite of Konohamaru when Konohamaru's like off. But when Konohamaru's like in his ninja mode, they're pretty much like similar. They're both just very similar, just Jonin. You know what I mean? Very about their business. And he checks Boruto like all through this arc so far, just about Boruto being kiddish or him trusting too soon, and like pretty much not early, but if I just give you a rundown of the Hashirama Retrieval Arc, you'll see where Mugino fits in. And at the end, I'll let you know where he's at in the manga, but that's not too much because he's... So pretty much, Mugino, as I stated before, he was introduced at the beginning of this arc as Konohamaru's friend and as the fifth member of Team 7 for this mission, pretty much. The mission is to help this lady find her husband or boyfriend or whatever named Anato. He's a scientist, I believe, or a researcher who works for Victor's research and development side of things. Victor, I should explain who he is. He's this old guy. He's an outer member. I remember reading about him in the manga early on, or not about him, but seeing him in the manga early on. But he's an outer member. But the thing about him is he kind of reminds me of Owl and Amado. Like, they just seem like they gave up on life, if you will, but they're still trying to push, but they gave up on life. It's weird. So with Victor, he's a casualty. He's like a war dog, pretty much. He's a casualty of the 4th Great Ninja War, and so is his village. And his main goal is to pretty much regenerate cells and boost longevity in life and restore youth, if you will. That's his main goal. Anato works for Victor. We come to find that out whenever Boruto and the gang reach Victor's village, which I believe is the village hidden in the waterfall. I believe it is. But pretty much, we figure out where we can kind of look for Anato. That's where the gang they get to the land of the waterfall, and they get some type of clues on where they can actually find Anato. Once they end up following those clues, they end up getting inside this cave, and Boruto, he's talking to Mugino, and he's like, dude, you're telling me pretty much about trust and who to trust and not to trust, but we just met you. How can I trust you? And he's like, you're right. Like, don't trust me either. So Mugino, he's a really cool character. I wish he didn't die in the manga. And I'm sorry for like ruining that again, but he dies in the manga like really early. So they walk, and Boruto, he trips over this big like wood, and they realize that it's like wood style wood, if you will. So like that's like the first sign of the Hashirama cells. So imagine Victor didn't tell the viewers or tell Boruto and them exactly how he was going to reach his goal. He just said that was his goal, and he needed certain things. But I had that in my mind that it was the Hashirama cells. So they follow the cave, and they actually see Anato pretty fast. And whenever Boruto tries to get up close to him, he's in this weird state. His skin is different. It's a different color. His skin like resembles Danzo's arm pretty much. So it's good to know that Danzo's arm literally was in wood. Like, I had a feeling it was in a wood style state, but it didn't really hit me. Like, because the way it was drawn out in anime, it was just like a white arm. But in here, actually, you can see the cracks in the crevices that show that it's actually wood, if you will. So he begins to actually fight Team 7, and they don't want to fight, but Mugino let him know, like, look, we're going to have to do some type of damage on him at the end of the day. He's amped by these Hashirama cells, or he's amped. We didn't know it was Hashirama cells right now. We just knew that he was running wild, and his arms were stretching, he's smacking people around. So Boruto and him, like, clashed in that manner, which made them pretty much fail the mission. And by them failing the mission, Victor, he was up above watching them the whole time, and he had seen that their tactics wasn't really working, so he told his ninja pretty much start blasting it with like with lightning energy. So it was just zapping. Anato kept zapping him, and then he just passed out. And then he came down. He said, "We're going to take care of everything. You guys are relieved of this mission." And Konohamaru, he's just like, "Please don't let him die." Or it was, I think, Boruto. One of them. Somebody said, "Please don't let Anato die," because of the mission. And Victor cuts him off like, "I would never let him die," because like he's very stern and just he really wants to help people at the end of the day. So it's crazy that he's a part of Korra, but at the same time, it doesn't really it's really not surprising to me at the end of the day. I mean. Jigen or Ishiki, whoever you want to call him, he seems pretty persuasive, if you will. But throughout their battle, before Anato start getting zapped, Mitsuki wraps up Anato with his snakes, and then he bites Anato, and then a chunk rips off, like it just breaks off. Like we're like, whoa, okay, so that is wood. So apparently his snake eats it, which gets Mitsuki sick. So Mitsuki falls ill, and he has like the Hashirama disease, kind of like Anato did, and they didn't know where to take him, so Mugino let him know, I know where a nice healer is, a very, very powerful healer is, that's very close to this village, and we can just go there. They end up going there, and they end up meeting up with, is her name Yudume? Yeah, her name is, I'm sorry, her name is Yadame, I think that's her name. Let me see, I think it's Yadame. I mean, dang, I forgot. But they meet this this doctor who's like bent on like, I guess, inflicting pain on people, and she's kind of remind me of Dr. Korea from One Piece and You're Lucky Them. Pretty much, whenever they get to her tent, a villager runs out and he's like screaming like, "Oh my God, please don't hurt me, don't kill me." And she's like, "Look, it must have healed you because you're able to run, you know." So he runs away, and then she sees Mugino, and Mugino lets her know about what's going on with Mitsuki. She goes check on Mitsuki, and she tries to inflict pain. I'm gonna stop looking for her name. We'll figure that out later. But she tries to inflict pain on him like she likes to do, but she didn't, I guess, get a reaction from him. So Boruto's like skeptical, like, "Yo, I don't really know like about this lady. Like, I really don't think we should work with her." Boruto got smacked by Anato early on, so his hand had a little scratch on it. She grabbed his hand, and then he just went like crazy. Like, he went ballistic. He was in excruciating pain, and then he got yanked away, and Mugino told him to check his hand, and his hand was fully healed. So like she has like super like epic healing powers. Like she's like the Granny Chio of her village, or of her wherever she's at. She's like in between. I guess the land of the waterfall and the land of silence. I'm guessing that's where she's at. If that's where they're at, the land of waterfall. But I think she's like in between there. So she got to be like the best healer around that territory. Like Chio was the best around her territory, and Tsunade was just like the best ever, I guess. So she begins to heal Mitsuki. It takes her a while, but then she figures out where the wood is, so she draws it out. She takes out the piece, and then she puts it in the plate. Sarada gets Boruto. He comes check in on Mitsuki. They let Boruto know that all of the worst is over, but he still has to rest up. They're like, "Wow, it's just an ordinary piece of wood." I think she is the one who actually said it wasn't a normal piece of wood, that it was actually wood style. But Mitsuki, he has a strong body. So he has like a natural defense. His immune system fights off the wood style pretty much. Whoop-de-doo, it makes sense because Orochimaru, during the 4th Great Ninja War when he brought back all of the Kage, he fused with Zetsu, who is wood style, and he had wood style. So it makes sense why Mitsuki has some type of immunity to it. So like she asked him to stay behind because she pulls back a curtain. She said that this girl was left just in front of my tent. I don't know who left her here, but she has the same disease. So they leave her there, and Mitsuki stays there, and the rest of Team 7, he stays there to help her come up with different antibiotics to help the girl and anybody else who might need help. So Team 7 leaves Mitsuki there, and they try to find leads on the Hashirama Cell because they realized that Victor obviously was using the Hashirama Cell, or whoever was doing these... it was Victor. Victor was using the Hashirama Cell. So they figured out, okay, Mugino, again, this is like he's like really big and like just helping out in this arc. He lets everyone know, like, in the land of silence, there's the black market because it's the land of pretty much the fugitives, which I love the way that is. I want to see, like, or hear about some backstory about the land of silence and the land of grass, because the fire prison. There had to be some type of war, mini wars going on in between there. People trying to break their people out from the land of silence, trying to bring them back. Like there had to be some type of stuff. So, or hopefully there's going to be, like... And then both arcs are right next to each other, if you notice. Like, Boruto's Blood Prison arc was like, right before this arc, you know what I mean? So it's dope. So, like, Mugino tells them about... the land of silence, and he lets them know, look, we can go there, get some leads on the Hashirama Cell, figure out where it's been coming from, and then we can link pretty much everything back together, if you will. Like, so far what I'm getting in this arc. So they go to the land of silence, and while they're there, they're walking through, and they're just spotting different people from their bingo book. There's like a guy selling different headbands from different villages and stuff, and eventually they end up getting to the market that Mugino was talking about, and they start talking to the store owner. Really amateur-like. Like, they came in there and they like, asked them, like, what do you know about something, if you will. Like, or no, they didn't even ask them, like, what do you know? They just said, hey, they said, I forgot exactly what they said, but they said, like, something that gave him the impression like, yeah, y'all are trying to arrest me. So he said, okay, I'm gonna give you guys what you want pretty much. And he turns around and he shuts, he presses the button and then this big metal door shuts in between them, but Boruto slides under. He says, okay, you're just a kid pretty much, my goons can take care of you. Boruto's like, don't underestimate me. He knocks out his goons, puts the kunai to the guy's neck, and the guy lets open the door. When the guy lets open the door, he begins to cooperate and they ask him simply like, do you know what's going on with the Hashirama Cell, or, you know, what's going on? And he said, whoa, cool, I thought that you guys were trying to arrest me or something. So he lets them know that there's this doctor, who knows something about the Hashirama Cell, and you can find them. There's like females, like pink-haired females. You can find like pink-haired females like around them, I guess. I'm guessing like that's how it was. Like I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering correctly, because I don't got it right in front of me. So they eventually go to this club where they can find these females, and they found the females instantly, and the females was with the doctor. Boruto switched into sexy jutsu, and he wowed the guy in to the point where like the girls like left because they felt like they wasn't like Boruto like got the guy's attention and the guy didn't care about them anymore. So they end up leaving mad, and Boruto sits down talking to him. Boruto wows him or whatever outside of the store so they can talk. And then as they're walking, Boruto like gives he gives up something, like I think he saves I think somebody. The guy was about to turn around and hit Boruto, but then Boruto caught his hand and it turned back to itself, and then he realized like, okay, this was like a trick. So then they had to fight the guy. They ended up knocking him out, and then Konohamaru took his identity, and then like the guy was supposed to meet someone at like this rendezvous spot the next day to discuss the Hashirama cells and I guess doing like a transplant with it, if you will. So Konohamaru turns into the guy, and then they meet him at the rendezvous the next day. Sarada and Mugino, they duck off and let Boruto act as Kurosaki, I think that's his name. I doubt it's that, but Boruto acted as Konohamaru's medical assistant. The guy was like, I didn't hear about some assistant being here. What is this about? And Konohamaru, disguised as doctor, said, you're not even the guy I was supposed to be meeting. Where's your boss? The guy let him know, like, my boss sent me to meet you. In order for me to actually trust you, I need you to pass this test. Konohamaru, disguised, said, what type of test do I need to pass? And the guy showed him his arm, and of course, it had the Hashirama cells in it. So apparently the guy injected himself with the Hashirama cells to see if the doctor could actually heal him. If the doctor couldn't actually heal him, then obviously the doctor was a fake and shouldn't even reach his queen. The queen is in the land of silence too, but I guess they're like some noble people, so you know. So his queen's goal is to become youthful again. She's very old and she hates the way she looks. People bring her flower pots and whatever, and when she sees herself, she goes crazy and smack it off, and she wants the Hashirama Cell procedure, which it doesn't even exist. The procedure to happen so she can become youthful again. So Konohamaru, whenever he sees the guy pass out from having that disease, pretty much, Boruto's like, what the hell are we gonna do? We gotta switch up the plan. Even Sarada Mugino came out like, shit, it's over now. But Konohamaru actually has some Mitsuki's blood as the antidote. So he squeezed it in the guy healed up, he trusted him, and then he took Boruto and Konohamaru away. Sarada and them, as soon as he started to wake up, they left, but he took them to see his queen. Whenever they got inside the room where they thought they was going to see the queen, they didn't see the queen. The door shut behind them, and he locked up Boruto with some buttons. Some chains came from the ground and grabbed Boruto. The butler put Hashirama Cell syringe next to Boruto's neck, and he told Konohamaru, do the procedure on him first and turn him youthful, even though he's a kid, or you ain't gonna see the queen, because I still don't believe you in a way. And Konohamaru was like, what, you want me to turn into a baby? He said, well, whatever. He said, so Konohamaru says, okay, cool, go give me some wine, go give me some liquor I need to drink, so my hands will be steady. The guy goes and leaves for a split second. At that time, I believe Boruto did a Kagebushin, and he left the Kagebushin in his place while the real Boruto left, or maybe he did a Kagebushin before and he just already was on his own way. I like to think the latter. So either way, a Kagebushin is in Boruto's place in the change when the guy come back, and the real Boruto is in the palace where the lady is. He sees the lady, but she looks asleep, so he waits for a while, and then he goes over next to her where you would think the jar would be out on his table, and the jar is missing, and he looks back over at the lady, and the queen, and she just falls over, and this is where Boruto like is showing that it's like a little bit more brutal, maybe a little bit more brutal than Naruto. But, you know, Naruto was getting there towards the end, just, I guess, to set up, you know, because I guess you get a little bit more leeway eventually. But there was a poison kunai stabbed in the lady. She got hit with a poison kunai. She's dead. And the Hashirama cells is missing. Boruto, he, I guess, read the angle where the kunai would have came from, so he turned around, threw a kunai at the chandelier. It got blocked by a pink-haired male. So 3 males jumped down with the Hashirama cell. As they're jumping down, one of them threw perfume at Boruto and said, you can have this. and they run off. Boruto, she's covered in poison, in perfume, and it flashes back over to Konohamaru. Konohamaru's drinking. The guy said, after this one drink, handle it. Konohamaru's like, damn, you're stingy. The door opens. Before that, Konohamaru was like asking about the Hashirama cells. Come to find out, that butler, he had injected that little girl who's at the medic's home, who was dropped off at the medic's home, with the Hashirama cells to see if she would get useful. But he realized that there had to be a whole procedure he thinks there had to be a whole procedure because she turned into like a monster in his eyes. So he kicked her out of the village. So she wound up at the over there, and as he's telling Konohamaru the story, someone busts through the door, and they let the butler know the queen, the elite village ninja is inside the queen's palace, but he had a hood on. And I wonder how the hell did you know he was a elite village ninja if he didn't have his headband on? So maybe it was someone following him, and we'll get that later. But the butler runs out like, whoa, what the hell is going on? So Boruto's clone poof, and then Konohamaru switches back to normal. He's like, damn, we might do brute force now because they must have caught on Boruto. He runs in there, he sees Boruto holding his kunai, wiping the perfume off himself, and seen kunai stabbed outside his queen, and she was dead. So he ran over to his queen, flipped over, oh my god, queen, no! So he runs over to the wall, calls his people, and let them know all over the palace that elite village ninja had killed the queen. As soon as he hangs up, someone throws a poison kunai, stabs him in the neck with it. So he's like, and he starts trying to run. He tries to run a little bit, like, I gotta get away, I can't let this happen. And he just passes out and he dies. He dies. Like, it's going down in Boruto. So that's another person that, like, he can't convince or, to help change what the fuck just happened. Now they're looked at as, like, traitors. So Boruto and Konohamaru, they're on, like, their run for their life, if you will. They're just, like, they're running, and then they ended up catching up to Sarada and Mugino. They're all getting chased, and then they realize, like, okay, Boruto, you stink, so you and Mugino figure out how to get rid of that smell, while Konohamaru and Sarada goes to the black market guy and figure out, I guess, more information on what's going on, because, like, their lead, both of them is dead now, and someone got out on them with the Hashirama cells, and they're going to get the pink-haired dude, like, because Boruto seen him, but at this time, Konohamaru, I don't think really knew too much about them, so I think he wanted just more leads. So he goes back over to the store with the guy, while Boruto and Mugino is cleaning up. So Mugino, he sees, like, this stream of shit pretty much coming from the sewer. He's like, Boruto, jump in there, wash yourself off, because Mugino's all about, business, you know what I mean? And Boruto's like, hell no, because we know Boruto, he loves to stay clean, like, from even the movie, we knew that. So, like, Mugino's like, oh, for real? So he does, like, a Batman spin trip, and he tripped him inside the stream, comes back out shitty as hell, Mugino's like, damn, you smell like shit. He's like, of course I smell like shit. So, like, they didn't know where to go for a second, I guess. So eventually and the people seen them anyway, so they had to jump into shit anyway. So they ended up jumping into shit, and then eventually they found a place where to hose themselves off at, and we cut over to Konohamaru. I was about to call him who he was in disguise, and Sarada. He tells Sarada to stay outside, and I'll handle this by myself this time. So he goes talk to the guy. The guy's like, okay, cool, whatever you're saying. And he said, I'll be right back. And then, like, 5-6 big dudes is all around Konohamaru. Then he comes back like, yeah, you must think I'm stupid. Like, my network system is crazy here. The person you're trying to portray, the doctor you're trying to portray, who I gave you information about, he was found beat up somewhere. Like, dude, you're not him. So Konohamaru's like, fuck. So he's about to switch, and at the time, he's Sarada punches the ceiling, boom, and then she busts through the ceiling, and then they begin to run. They begin to run outside the store. They end up meeting up with Boruto, and because Boruto, even though they washed the smell off, they had dogs, so the dogs smelled them. So they're all getting chased, and then they get cornered in the middle of the place, in the middle of the town, and right when they get cornered, there was a kid who was, like, stealing all through. At the very beginning they got there, like, there was a kid who was just stealing, and Mugino let him know, like, it's normal, kids steal here all the time, like, they just think it's normal, it's the land of silence. So this kid that Boruto happened to accidentally help steal, I think, off the doctor that they actually beat up, but he, like, stole off of somebody, and Boruto accidentally helped him. He didn't even mean to. The kid looked over and said, Boruto, we didn't say Boruto, but he said, hey, come over here, I got you. So Boruto's like, what is that kid who was stealing? He said, don't matter if I'm stealing, come on. so they throw down a whole bunch of smoke bombs, and they dash over inside the tunnel. When they get inside the tunnel, they go down, and the kid, and they see, like there's, like, this, it's pretty normal down there, like, the kid had it laid out, like, so the kid explained, like, this is my territory, like, me, I run down here, I'm the king, pretty much. So he shows them where they can go chat at, and it's like this, like, it looked like this full-blown interrogation room, like, this kid is, like, wise beyond his years. So, like, pretty much, they're sitting down, and they're talking about what the fuck just happened, and Boruto lets them know about this pink-haired group of kids. The kid lets them know, like, look, I can help y'all with whatever y'all need. They turn over, like, Boruto turns over, like, yo, like, why do you want to help pretty much so much? And he said, look, I'll let your friend explain that. Out from behind the door is Mitsuki. I'm like, holy shit. So Mitsuki's there. From behind Mitsuki is the little girl that was sick. And now she's not sick anymore, because I guess they came up with the antibiotic fast and ended up healing her. It comes to find out that that girl is the boy's little sister. So whenever the girl got injected and was all sick, the boy, and then got banished outside the village. They're all like orphans pretty much. So like the boy took his sister, and he didn't have enough money, so he dropped her off at the medic unit, at the medic tent, because he knew about this woman. That's how you know she had to be famous, because how did even this little boy know about her? But he dropped her off at the tent for this to the medical lady, and he left. He thought maybe she'll heal her, and then lo and behold, he comes back with his sister healed, and he was still in a lot, you know. So he's up right now. So pretty much he's like, I'll help you guys with whatever, you know. They end up explaining the story. They're like, wow, that's insane, how everything connected. So he lets them know, okay, you're looking for three pink-haired people with three pink-haired boys with earrings. He said, watch this. So he goes and talks on, like, through this pipe. It looks like these pipes that be, like, at little playgrounds. I remember playing in playgrounds, and, like, there used to be, like, pipes you could talk through and when I was sad. So pretty much, like, he's talking through this pipe, and he's like, okay, guys, we're looking for three pink-haired people or something like that. So all these people are like, Roger. I'm like, holy shit. So, like, he lets them know, like, yeah, like, I got massive. Like, he got to have at least a couple hundred, I'm thinking, because they traveled around his village fast. He says they travel around his village like it's nothing. And, you know, relay messages like it's nothing. Like, this whole underground place is theirs for the taking, pretty much. So they get the message back to him fast that this pink-haired person is right over here. So they travel through the underground tunnels. They split up, I guess, to make sure that they get them easier. So Mugino and Konohamaru this time is split up together, and Team 7, respectively, the kids, is actually together this time. The kids, they run off, and then someone shoots lightning from a tree. I think they thought they seen the pink-haired people just all in scats with these three figures, like, they're all in silhouette, if you will. And then, like, lightning got shot down from them. So in my eyes, I think that's Victor's team. I don't think it's the pink-haired group, because it just didn't seem like them at all. And I think that Mugino and them is going to run into the pink-haired group. But either way, I want Mugino and them to run into, there's this other outer member. His name is Deepa, apparently. We don't know too much about him. He's only been shown like 3 times. But the last time we seen him, I think, was in the last episode where all this stuff happened. And he, like, slaughtered, like, everybody. And he's, like, on his way to, like, I guess, slaughter, I guess Team 7 for the Hashirama Cells, but it's weird. Him and Victor got into a little spat about dude want to kill so much. So then when Victor's telling him, like, not to kill so much, I guess, he turns around and the guy's gone. And then in the next episode, he's like, this steak is nasty. He goes to pay the bartender, but the bartender's dead. And then his waiter's dead. And then the person who's eating behind him's dead. And everyone else in the bar is dead, and he leaves out. So I want to see Mugino at least fight him, because I know for a fact, like, he's dead, like, where we see him, and that's not too far from here. Like, in the manga, when Kawaki's found, there was a blimp that was falling over the land of the fire. I guess Kawaki ended up breaking out, fighting off these, like, automatic puppets that was inside the Kara ship, and it's crashed, and Kawaki was passed out. All of these robots was broken up. But there was a scuffle with Mugino and Konohamaru with those puppets, with those puppets, because they discovered the ship. They sent Naruto sent Konohamaru and Mugino to go find that ship. When they found it, there had to be some type of fight, because whenever Boruto found that same area, there was a lot of puppets that were, like, overheated, but then they woke back up, and then they had to re-overheat them and then knock them back out. So I'm pretty sure Konohamaru and Mugino overheated them. But I was trying to figure out how to because whenever they found Mugino and Konohamaru states that Mugino is not on death's door yet, but his organs is crushed. I'm like, okay, these specific puppets that all of them was fighting and was like, suspected to have fire Konohamaru in them, they shoot fire style fireballs. So I'm like, how do you crush organs with fire? You know, you burn it. But there is an outer named Goro who is shown, like, right, like, after that chapter where Mugino, as a matter of fact, it's like right after Ao and then Ao kills Mugino. Maybe a chapter later, Goro is shown, and he's like, there you are, Kawaki, and Kawaki and him fight, and he was sent to get Kawaki, and Kawaki broke his jaw before. So I'm thinking Goro was the leader of that blimp that had Kawaki in it with all of those different puppets, and then something happened where Kawaki got out, fought Goro again, fought the puppets, then the blimp, boom, crashed. Whenever Konohamaru and Mugino got there, they started to fight the puppets, but then Mugino got shorter end of the stick whenever Goro probably came from behind him and then hit him and crushed his ribs or something. Because Goro damn near crushes Kawaki's, and then he shoots a blast. You feel me? So I'm thinking it was pretty much him who really did most of the damage to Mugino. But Ao finds all of them inside the cave where Boruto finds Konohamaru and Mugino to rescue them, and he has a Gatling gun. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you all, pretty much, like, you know. And pretty much they get into a battle, and I'll explain that later. I'm running out of time. So they get into a battle. Team 7 loses pretty much, because Ao, he was the right-hand man to the 5th Mizukage. So he's real smart, and plus he has all these different drones and all this other crazy bullshit. So Team 7, I'm going to give a good breakdown for it, but Team 7 wounds up losing, and Mugino, he's off to the side pan, so he jumps up behind Ao whenever he gets a chance, or I'm going to just call him that, and Ao, like, drops down, opens the side of his arm, and he shoots out a lightsaber sword that he had hidden in his forearm through the chest of Mugino. which was the killing blow. So before Mugino dies, he does an Earth-style ninjutsu, which I believe that's just what he is. He's an Earth-style user. I don't think that he has multiple. I think he's an Earth-style user. Like, he seems very Earth-style-ish. So whenever he fights Deepa or whoever the fuck inside this anime, I want to see a lot of Earth-style from him, because, you know, we haven't seen Jutsu yet. And then whenever this fight plays out, or we see the puppets and everything animated, and him versus Go, I want to see a whole bunch, because he ended up dying. He does the Obito. He summons the cave walls cave ceiling over top of him, crushing both of them, but Ao makes it out. So that's Mugino, and that's where we're at so far in the Hashirama Cell Retrieval Arc. Obviously Mugino doesn't die in this arc, but when we get to the arc where Kawaki is shown, please stretch it out a little bit more, because he seemed like a cool character. Like, I was surprised to actually reread it and actually see Mugino, because I was like, holy shit, like, I remember all of this, but I didn't remember that it was actually Mugino, you know what I mean? Because the guy just died like it was nothing, like he just gave himself up, but who would have thought that he's actually the main guy giving information in this arc? So that's pretty cool. But if you like what you saw, well, first of all, thank you for watching the whole video. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Other than that, let's have a great discussion in the comments. Peace, love to all of you guys. Love yours, stay safe, and have a good day.